I'm well. I'm well. It's July and life is moving.
It's a hot July, and that little adjective you left out. It's definitely hot. How was your
It's not hot
fourth?
in my house. It was good. As in, I live in Columbus, Ohio, so my hot is very much relative to all the other people who are in the South and anywhere else. But I know a lot of y'all in Philly. But nevertheless, my fourth was cool. As in, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I slept all day long on purpose because I've been so busy and my body is tired. So I literally slept on the couch and watched Queen, Lady Jane, something like that. I don't really watch a lot of TV, and so it
Uh-huh.
was a good retreat.
Well, doing nothing is doing something, and sleeping is something that is definitely necessary if you work all the time, like you just said. So rest is essential.
Indeed.
So, as we think about today, is there anything that's surfacing up that you want to talk through today?
Yeah. I think I'll say this. So over the next like couple months, well, I should say the second half of the year, Q3 and four, are very critical for me. Whereas I have a lot of things on my plate, and I'm trying to use this month, as in July. I'm not trying. I'm using this month in July to catch up on rest, but also to catch up on hustle. I don't know how you do both at the same time, but we're doing it. But with that being said, just trying to prioritize the things that are really important to me because I know I like to travel a lot, not just travel. It's meaningful travel. It's not like I'm just going to kick it on the beach all the time.
Hmm.
But with that being said, I am in a coaching program that I need to complete as far as just all the things that are tied to that. Also in the process of applying to law school. I currently work at a law school, and so like school starts back in August, and things are already rolling. I'm trying to think, and I'll say those are the biggest buckets. I have a few other like, oh, let me make some quick money or like let me cultivate opportunities if I'm not quitting my day job. And like as in I love the work that I do. How can I make some additional monies? All that to say it's a lot but it has to be done and it needs to be done in order to propel me to where I want to be. And that is being enrolled next fall, being equipped to like quit my job because I have to go to law school. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm all over the place. As I mentioned earlier, like I also need to take care of my body during this time, like rest as well. So that's that. That's so I guess one of the issues that I'm having is like right now, like fighting my mind with the idea and desire to rest
Hmm.
versus also the desire to, for lack of a better word, get shit done. And there's a fight right now.
Okay, okay. Let me just say that you deserved your rest because after you told me all the things you're doing and all the things you're juggling, that fourth was definitely a day that it sounds like you definitely needed rest. So I just want to just tell you that take your rest as you need it. What I'm hearing you say is that there's a lot going on and you want to prioritize some stuff. And there are two things that you're trying to prioritize right now. The first being the rest that you need to take, and the things that you need to get done. Am I hearing you right?
That is correct.
Okay.
That is
Okay.
correct.
So let me ask you this. As I'm hearing you say this, why is that balance of rest and getting the things done? Why is that so important to you at this moment?
For about almost 2 years straight, I have not had a routine sleeping cycle. And I bring that up to say I am very ambitious and like I said, and a very much an achiever, if you would as well. And so my mind and my spirit can go forever until, for lack of a better, until Jesus come back. As in, we can die, and well, we can rest when we die. That kind of thing. It can kind of really lean into
Mhm.
that. But I do have a body that I know, as somebody who very much believes in holistic wellness and well-being, like my body is important as well because I can't carry out the mission. I cannot complete the achievements and be ambitious if I don't take care of my body. And so that is why it's important. Like I don't want it to get to a place where like I'm literally having like I'm in pain everywhere and I didn't listen to my body. So to answer your question succinctly, is because I have a spirit to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and I will. And I know that my body needs to be well in order for me to even push anything.
Yeah, that's real, Chase. And I hear you on that as someone that is a go-getter as well. Finding that balance is really important. And so as I'm hearing you talk about the holistic view and the holistic approach that you want to your life and why it's important because you need a body that's healthy to in order to do the things that you want to do, travel to places you want to travel, go to where you want to go. I want to know if there was like a time where you felt like you had balance of both the rest and the go-getter attitude or approach, rather.
Uh, yeah, that's a good question. I would say a time, hold on, you're going too fast, but I'm not sure. A time where I felt imbalanced. Um, I would say, um, I think it literally is like one time in my life. And the reason why it's one time, because along with all the stuff I said, I also undiagnosed or have diagnosed myself because of access at the moment with like ADD. And so I'm like always on the go and I've been grappling and coping with it all my life. But however, I think about one moment, I think I had an internship at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. And it was in the summertime. It was only 3 month, situation. And in that time, I was like, oh, I'm rested, I'm good, I'm having, I'm picking the things that I want to do. And at the same time, like I get up, I go to this little 9 to 5, and have those experiences. Long story short, it was just a good summer moment, knowing that it was temporary, but that's literally the one time where I was like, okay, everything is in balance. I don't have no issues going on over here, like things are getting done. Um, Things are getting done and I feel well. But that's literally, I imagine there are other like small moments like that, but that's probably the most salient at the moment. Um, so yeah, that was that was years ago.
Beautiful. Chase, can you see the screen?
Yes, I can hear and I can see.
All right, beautiful. So as I'm hearing you talk, I'm hearing this striving for like balance and holistic wellness, which you know is what
Mhm,
we're about. I Feed the
mhm.
Lion. So I'm excited that you're thinking about a time where you felt like you were close to it. But if you want, and you can take the time that you need, I want you to look at this wheel and
Mhm.
really think about a vision for a future where you can feel holistically fulfilled in all of these buckets. So I know I'm asking you a big question, but I want you to think about the time where you were kind of closest to there and what it could look like for you to be closer to there again. Um, Maybe by the end of July, what would it look like to at least be taking steps in the direction of being able to feel like you're taking care of yourself with a full picture in mind?
Yeah, yeah. We'll start with this body since we started out with it earlier.
Yes.
Uh, by the end of July, I love, your this smart goal situation. As in timely. Um, by the end of July, I do want to be able to say, not just say, but experience like working out 3 times a week. And that could either be gym and or just like walking slash running, the streets, the free gym. And so that's something, as we can consider physical health, but also like having a routine sleep. As I mentioned earlier, I ain't really had one in years. And so I would love to say, oh, I'm going to sleep at 11 and I'm getting up at 5:45, something like that. So I think those starting with physical wellness and then, yeah. And eating. I won't go into all the details, but like just eating better. I don't eat terribly now, but yeah. So food intake, outtake or out pushing, whatever, and then rest. So those are important for physical. Um, I would,
Beautiful.
yeah.
And I wanted to push you to think about areas in your life where you are doing well already, and the goal maybe is just maintenance Because as someone, like, I hear a lot of hyper achievement for you is like, get this, get this, get that, and this idea of like staying hungry while also honoring rest is real. So I'm hearing a little bit of a vision around physical wellness, but in what areas of your life do you feel like you're doing well and you just want to maintain?
Yeah, I guess occupational wellness right now. I do that phase because like my day job is going well when I think about occupation, sure, but the other ventures, I'm not gonna say they're not going well, but there's improvement needed. So but that's not your question. So my day job is going well. Um, spiritual wellness is going well, as in always moments of whether intake, meditation, breathing, and connection with other humans. So that's going well right now. Emotional wellness, I'm well. I'm probably the best I've ever been.
Beautiful. Let's
Yeah.
go. I like
Social
using this
wellness, I don't need no more
visual.
social.
I like using this visual because I think it forces people to realize areas in their life where they're already doing well. Like I'm hearing you say occupational wellness, check, killing the game, spiritual wellness, really happy where you're at, social wellness, emotional wellness. So it really sounds like in this next month, you want to put more focus on your physical wellness, not just in terms of your workouts and your nutrition, but also your sleep. And then I heard a little bit about like financial wellness and this idea of like putting work towards this side hustle or getting extra money. What could it look like for those two things to exist with balance over the next couple of weeks?
Um,
Can
well,
I give you some offerings or some ideas and you tell me what resonates or what seems like your style?
no, no, just playing. Go ahead. Yes.
Like, for example, sometimes when I work with clients around like balance, some people are like the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm hustling and bustling. Tuesday, Thursday, I'm working out and I'm sleeping. Some people are like 8 to 10, I'm working out. 12 to 2, I'm hustling, bustling. Um, what do any of those sound like ways in which you could think about balance?
Most definitely. I think there's opportunity to explore times of day. As in, I like my mornings. Like I wake up about 5:45, but typically I don't go to work till about 9 o'clock or like be at work at 9. Um, unless I need to. But nevertheless, so I have like this whole morning situation that I like to devote to chase. So there's opportunity there. And then and my weekdays are pretty variable, as in too much goes on that's I don't have not necessarily I don't have control of, but they're sporadic, and so I wouldn't want to focus there. But to the time of day, I think that would work. And then the choosing days, I think that's also a great structure for me. Um, so yeah, I think those would work.
So Chase, how will you go about choosing which days work for you in terms of keeping this balance? What days are your busiest days?
Mm, I would say Monday through Thursday are my busiest days.
And how much time do
Yeah.
you devote to yourself every morning?
Um, like about at minimum 2 hours at minimum. And so it might be three, depending on the day. And that includes, things like once again, reading and or some social media scrolling, maybe some posting here and there because I'm not gonna get to it. I'm not gonna do it later on that day. Um, maybe some face care. I don't know, but yeah, 2 to 3 hours in the morning.
Okay. So when we talked about you wanting to get back to your physical wellness, those are actually components of your physical wellness of what makes Chase Chase. We talked
Mhm.
about, wanting to get your body right and goals that you have towards that. How
Mhm.
can you incorporate time to work on that within Chase time? So it doesn't take away from anything else that you have planned during the week. And then what can you factor in to incorporate more physical wellness time aside of Chase time?
Yeah, yeah. I think that like in the mornings, so one of my issues I know for sure is like gyms. I don't really play in gyms without support. But even beyond, when I say playing gyms, like I've had some traumatic experiences where in gyms where in long story short now present day it's hard to explore that without once again paying somebody to help support me. But with that being said, I talked about free gyms outside in this season where it is like warm and the mornings are cooler, obviously than later in the day. Like in addition to like, I don't know, I just know in the past when I was on my running kick, if you would, I used to do 2 a days. This was crazy to me. But when I was doing that, like it was nothing for me to be outside at like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I done ran a whole 5K situation. And so I think in the mornings, if I get directly out the bed, put them clothes on and go outside, I can't really dispute it or, hinder it. So I think that's something that I can add to my morning routines. Again, just start off with that. And like I said, eventually later down the line, maybe do some gym situations. But yeah, adding running. And then, you know, maybe in the evening, I told you that they're very variable or like they're very different every day. Use it as time to explore. Other ways of movement. Like it could be another run or not just like a nice walk in the neighborhood, but also maybe some friends want to go swimming, or maybe we want to go, or I don't know, just do something else random, play basketball, or even do, I don't know, do something random for 30 minutes to an hour. I think those are opportunities since, my social, what a social element or dimension, as well, then I can connect and tap in with those folks too in the evenings. So I think those are a good starts.
Like, how will you go about implementing those?
Yeah, I'm a calendar type of guy. I tell people all the time, if it's not on my calendar, it does not exist. And so I think just even providing a structure for me, where it's just putting literally like walking or running on my calendar at 6 a.m. I can start there. I probably will need some additional support early on. But yeah, starting there. And then in the evenings, maybe picking like 3 days a week where I know I'm going to be doing, like I can probably add some movement. So like maybe Monday, Wednesday, Fridays in the evening, like I need to be doing something if I'm doing it outside by myself or just connecting with other folks. So those are 2 ways. So putting in my calendar for not only the hours in the morning, just like repeat every day. And then the Monday, Wednesday, Friday situation with in the evening with friends.
And Chase, when are you going to put this on your calendar?
Hopefully after this call, but not right now.
I'm gonna be checking in to make sure that it goes on after this call. And I thank you for your vulnerability and mentioning your traumatic gym experience. I can relate. So when it comes to that, have you thought about doing any home workouts where you can work out in the house, maybe get some workout equipment like some dumbbells or something where you can actually still get that workout in without having the pressure of going to the gym and being around people or paying somebody to support you in that?
Yeah, and I might shift this whole conversation in this moment. So, I have like an app. It's like that I use, and it creates workouts for me, and like this for home, and I can use it in the gym too. And it's so accessible. I think my greatest issue is maybe not even like what I should be eating or what I should be working out. It's really just to sit there, the sitting down of planning what all these things are. If I'm maybe implement, I think sometimes I probably try to implement too much at the same time. That whole go getter thing, and so like right now, in my mind, I'm like I need to figure out what I'm going to eat as far as like for the not necessarily for the month. Like I need to buy groceries, but like what do I need to be eating on? What kind of workouts and what the time workouts need to be? How do I need to be hustling too? Like how do I need to get my coaching hours consistently? Like all the things. So my issue or the grand issue is that actually sitting down to plan out my life where and but I think I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna be done. Doing maybe these bits and pieces we talked about, doing workouts and stuff today. And then resting. Like I said, those are just two dimensions, but I think maybe start little by little and just add well, would be great.
And after you shared that, how can you guard against the anxiety that builds up from trying to jump on top of everything with that go-getter spirit that you have, compared to allowing your mind to actually focus on certain groups or pockets at a time so you don't get overwhelmed, and then seeing how they all come together big picture? How can we guard against the racing of the mind?
Well, you want my real response or you want mine? Okay. Um, so anxiety don't live at my house long. anymore. Like, so I might have these little pockets. Like when I say little pockets, it's the body having a response before my mind do. But I would throw, for lack of better words, all this shit out the window before I let anxiety just stay in my house. And what I mean by that is like if it's causing me anxiety to not plan slash not work out, then baby, we just won't work out. It just won't be because as in it's nothing's really gonna. I don't want anything to be that important. Like as in, I take myself very seriously, but I don't take myself that seriously. Like oh, you'll get it after a while, you know. So with all that being said, back to your original question. Um, you said what helps my anxiety?
I say, how can we guard against?
How can we guard against? Um, how can we guard against anxiety? Um, I think I don't know what's going in my mind now is like practice and maybe like connecting with folks. So like to like normalize like these things. That's all I can think of right now. But because again, my first response is I'd rather not do any of the things and have a good mind than to be trying to do all the things and not. Like, I don't have it in me. And I've learned that from like very accessible recent memories, as in like 2 years ago. I almost lost my mind, so I can't afford to lose it anymore about trying to do some tasks. Girl, bye. All right, I'm done.
Thank you, Chase, for sharing. What times it sounds like that you have law school coming up and you talked about putting things on your calendar as far as working out,
Mhm.
but you haven't scheduled anything yet.
Yes, let's be clear because you said time and then schedule and then you said law school. Like I said, I don't plan to start law school until fall of 25. So I have like a year or 13 months until that time. And so we're working that calendar. We're working a 13-month calendar until we get to law school. That's a whole nother transition later on.
And
But
I'm glad that you clarified that. But
uh
I think that what do you think about actually scheduling some stuff? S-
uh go
So,
ahead.
so when is your check-in time with yourself to evaluate what you have done during the week?
I don't evaluate myself as in formally. I mean, I've learned to sit and like, oh, you know, you did that, yay, but it's not like a real evaluation of like goal setting and checking right now.
Okay. What about, let me rephrase, what about completion of tasks? So you said that you wanted to work out 3 days a
Uh-huh.
week.
Uh-huh.
So after the week is over and you have completed or did not complete it, how do you go about resetting for the next week?
Mm, um, I have a running list of all tasks. And literally, you know, as I use the iPhone, so the notes section, and there's the task feature where you can like push the dot and it like shift it to the bottom of the list saying it was completed, that kind of thing. I don't know if you've ever seen it or whatever. It's my phone did, but yeah. So it's like literally a task list, and like the once you click it, it moves to the bottom, and obviously the things that need to be done rise to the top. But even beyond that function, like that is my this Bible, if you would. And so as I think about whenever it is, whether it's on Sunday nights or Monday mornings or it's a couple times in the week, like I'm just looking at that list as in, okay, what needs to be done and what needs to be prioritized? What's today? So like if it's a running list of things, then like what's just for Monday, July? What is it? 8th, 7th, 8th, whatever today it is. Like what I need to pull from this other
Okay.
list to pull to the top. And so then I make sure I get all those clothes for the day. If I don't get those clothes for the day, they stay there on Tuesday. And then we, like I said, maybe I can add some more to it. But as far as just succinct, or not succinctly, but specifically back to these workouts, I don't really like, besides only seeing what has not been done, I don't really have any other employments of like goal checking right now.
How do you distinguish day by day? What day is a hustle day and what day is a rest day?
Every day a hustle day, Dr.
Listen, I know, hustle hard.
I don't know. I don't, and that's why I'm always going. So I need to. I recognize I ain't slow, but I need to realize I need to figure out like what day is, whether it be a whole day or like what moments are like rest moments. Because yeah, I don't have them.
Well, it needs to be something that recharges you, right?
Hmm.
So that you're working at 100% the next day or whatever your expectation is. So you don't want to experience any burnout. So those rest days in between. So think of it like doing workouts,
Hmm.
not at the gym, but outside of running. So
Hmm.
you said you used to run, 5K. And if you do that back to back, you're supposed to incorporate rest days.
Hmm.
So how can we look at your hustle and rest days? How can we distinguish those days? And I'm glad
Yeah.
that you're pausing. So maybe that's something that you could think about and we could
Hmm.
develop that a little bit more for the next call.
I think that'd be great for sure.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.